Hi everyone, it's Emma from Air Learners. Today we're going to go through the Year 7 reading preparation PowerPoint for NAPLAN. We're going to go through some NAPLAN style questions, and then we'll also go through some tips and tricks. If you get stuck at any point, that's totally okay. Just pause the video and reach out to an Air Learners tutor, parent or teacher for help. So during the reading assessment, you're going to get two booklets. The first booklet contains a 12-page magazine that has 8 short texts. And then the second one is the answer booklet, which contains 49 questions based on the text in the magazine. And this assessment goes for 65 minutes. So meet the quokka. The quokka, also known as the happiest animals on Earth, are small wallabies. These friendly animals live in swamps and scrublands of Rottnest Island, Western Australia. Fully grown quokkas are often described as the size of a domesticated cat, growing to 40 centimetres with a 30 centimetre tail and weighing up to 3.6 kilograms. It has a brown face with short round ears with black eyes and a black nose. Fascinatingly, males are bigger than females. These friendly animals' diets consist of tree and shrub buds, leaves, grasses, succulents, seeds, and roots. The quokka was the first animal to be recorded by Europeans. Unfortunately, due to loss and degradation of its habitat and predation by foxes and feral cats, the quokka's population is declining. So here's our first question. This is based on our text. What type of writing piece is Meet the Quokka? So we've got persuasive, informative, narrative, or expository. So we know that this isn't a persuasive piece, and that's because persuasive pieces are trying to encourage you to do something. For example, an advertisement, they're trying to get you to buy something or go somewhere. It's not a narrative piece because narrative pieces are storytelling pieces that it sets a setting, there are characters, there's conversations, that sort of story is like a normal book. Expository is something where it's kind of like a mix in between persuasive and informative. So educational, but also there is a bit of a bias. So this one is an informative piece because it's just telling you, just trying to educate you about what the quokka is. So let's fill in our bubble here. Awesome. And then let's go on to the next slide. So question 2, why is the quokka's population declining? A, poaching, B, loss of habitat and vulnerability to predators, C, migration, or D, their population is increasing. So let's go back and have a look at our reading piece. And in this last sentence here, unfortunately, due to loss and degradation of its habitat and predation by foxes and feral cats, the quokka's population is declining. So we can fill in bubble number 2 here because that's just what it mentions in the informative piece. Luckily in Australia, poaching's illegal. Migration, the quokkas, I assume, don't migrate, and obviously their population, as it said, is decreasing. Now, question 3, the photograph, which is seen here, emphasises A, how furry the quokka is, B, how small the quokka is, C, how kangaroo-like the quokka is, or D, how vulnerable the quokka population is. So when we're looking at this question, although it is asking what the photograph emphasizes, we also have to think about what the text was actually saying, because the text doesn't mention the quokka being similar to kangaroos. It does say wallabies, but kangaroos and wallabies are different things. It doesn't say anything about how furry it is, so we can eliminate those two. How vulnerable the population is, it does say that, and then also how small it is. Obviously they are very small animals. So for this one, I'm going to go with number B because the image is obviously a huge background. It's got heaps of trees, and it's a super close-up picture of the quokkas, so you can assume that that's what they're trying to highlight, how small they are. Alrighty, so here's our first tip, and that's to reread the text multiple times. Although you only have 65 minutes to complete the test, you should allocate approximately 2 to 4 minutes per text, reading and analysing. The reading test is all about analysing and interpreting different styles of text and drawing conclusions, which is why having a good understanding of what the text is discussing is really important before you begin answering the questions. If you're a really slow reader like myself, I recommend you start reading every day, allocate 30 minutes to an hour each night before you go to bed, and practice reading. And then as you keep reading, you'll start to read faster and understand the text more, and that can really help you and give you an advantage during these assessments. So here we have the Anglo-Australian telescope. The Anglo-Australian telescope, in brackets AAT, was one of the final 3.9 diameter equatorially mounted telescopes that was constructed. Equatorially mounted telescopes are tilted to align with the rotation of the Earth. This observatory is located in Sliding Spring Mountain, New South Wales, and is located 1,130 metres above sea level. The AAT has made many contributions to science, few including detecting clouds near the surface of Venus, observed the explosion of the supernova 1987A, and discovered extremely small dwarf galaxies. And then on the right here we have an image of this telescope. So let's go on to our first question of this text. According to the text, why is the Anglo-Australian telescope significant? A, due to its location. B, it was one of the final and largest telescopes constructed using the traditional equatorial mounting. C, due to its size, or D, it's located 1,130 meters above sea level. So, the text mentions all of these options, although the most significant thing about this is that it was the final and one of the largest telescopes constructed, which is pretty cool, using the traditional equatorial mounting. So next question, why is AAT in brackets? So AAT stands for the Anglo-Australian Telescope. A, it's an abbreviation. B, it's a translation. C, it is a description. Or D, it is an opinion. So the AAT is an abbreviation, and we put it in brackets so then when we want to mention the AAT later on, we don't have to spell out the Anglo-Australian Telescope, as that's quite long, and we want to kind of get to the point. So we use AAT in brackets right after we write out the Anglo-Australian Telescope here. So then the readers know what you're referring to when you say AAT later on. So tip number 2, there's only 65 minutes to complete the test. For that reason, if you get stuck, you need to move on immediately. Come back to the questions you have skipped towards the end, and if you're stuck, just take a guess. It's totally okay. Never leave a question unanswered. During your practice tests, you should try timing yourself to see if you're going too slow or you have more time to check your answers. So thank you and good luck. You should give the practice tests a go, as I said, as they have more detailed reading questions along with more challenging questions. Also, you should organise a lesson with an air learner tutor or myself if you are having trouble. So good luck.